Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be an analysis of some of the most popular futures markets that traders are interested in. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. One quick clarification, I will be using the 1 hour time frame, so depending on how new you are to charts, that just means that each one of these candlesticks, as they're called, represents 1 hour's worth of time. So first market we're going to look at is the NQ, and as a reminder, if you trade the MNQ, what I talk about here, these general levels can certainly be applied because they're the same, just different risk components. So with that being said, crazy weekend, crazy Sunday, opening session with the big gap down, but to give credit's due, there was a nice bounce that occurred today, which brings about the valid question. Okay, yes, there's been this bounce, but is it truly strong? Is it valid? And as of now, in my opinion at least, the easiest way to gauge that is just to get a technical level in play. In fact, we could zoom this down to here and see, can the price continue to respect this trend line? So who knows if this comes into play or not, but this is a very basic trend line that you got to think a lot of people have drawn. And I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same general levels and wondering the same general things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So if there is any sort of push back downwards, that's going to be a trend line to certainly keep a close eye on. And as of right now, and going into the next session, definitely public enemy number one, all about the purple line here, which is the famous 50-period moving average. And you can see, not a coincidence that that's right where the price all of a sudden started to struggle. So first key dynamic to watch from a resistance standpoint, moving into the next session, going to be that 50-period moving average. But even if the price does break above there, I want to get overly excited. Don't get me wrong, from a bullish standpoint, that is a good thing. But I want to get overly excited because not that far away, you have the big brother of the 50-period moving average. You have the 200-period moving average up there with that pink line that you'd also want to keep an eye on from a resistance standpoint. But if the price can push through both of those, then I'm not going to say it goes straight up to those highs right here, but you do have some general clear sailing where the bulls could very realistically build some more momentum for themselves. On the flip side of things, if the price were to come down here and then push down through there, especially if any sort of break of that is a higher volume break, then again, I'm not saying the price goes straight down to there, but you could very realistically see the bears pick up quite a bit of pressure as there's not a whole lot of potential points for the price to stop at that area. But overall, though, in my opinion, at least these are definitely going to be the main levels to watch headed into the next session. Next one here, we are looking at the ES, and of course, this one also did very poorly. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines as they've served their purpose for now, and I don't want to have a bunch of clutter everywhere. But the first dynamic here, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that watched the video on Friday, but I talked about 6,005 as a key area of support. And yeah, with the price broke below it, at that point, you'd expect it to act as resistance. But right there, the price got back above it. So when resistances are broken, you would expect them to behave as support. And check it out. Beautiful example of that right there. Went right back to acting as support as soon as the price was able to get back above it. So that's just my long way of saying in the very near term, 6,005 would be the first key area that you'd ideally want to hold strong. But also, like the NQ, in terms of just gauging the health of the current bounce right now that's underway, just keep an eye on the overarching trend line down there. That'll be another level to watch, as like I said, again, as far as the general bounce that's occurred. And then also, like the NQ, ES has a couple of very, clear areas of potential problems from a resistance standpoint. The 50-period moving average and the 200-period moving average. So didn't hit it exactly, but once again, no coincidence that the price came up right on this area, and as of right now, is starting to pull back a little bit. But I say a little bit because it's not like that's a crash or anything like that, and you'll definitely want to continue to watch that 6,005 mark. But overall, nice bounces underway. We'll see if the momentum carries into the next session. Next one here, the YM, and you're noticing a very common theme here. This is almost a mirror image of the ES being, and once more, this will mean more to those of you that watched the video from Friday, but talked about that as a support. When those levels are broken, they tend to act as resistance, which is actually exactly what happened there. Broke down through it and then got rejected. Price got up through there. You would expect this to act as support, and once again has gone to acting as support. So if there is any sort of continued pullback right here in the near term, 438 going to be that first key level. And then just from an overarching standpoint, I mean, this is a pretty, there's really no, I guess there's technically a little bit of an uptrend line that can be drawn there. But I think just the most straightforward way to just kind of throw out, that's just where the price was. That's just the lows, and it is what it is. Not necessarily an uptrend from those areas. But like I said, if the price were to come down here and break through 438, Not guaranteed to drop straight down through there, but wouldn't be shocking to see the price then drift down to at least retest those lows. And then in terms of areas of resistance, yeah, check it out. No coincidence that the price has all of a sudden started to struggle right at those two key moving averages, 50-period moving average and 200-period moving average. But if the price can push up through there, then yeah, I don't think it'd be too shocking to see the price find some momentum that brings it back up to this next overarching level of resistance up there at 153. But all in all, very impressive bounces here. Now it's just a question of can the price continue to push through there in the next session. We'll see what happens. But step one for the YM is certainly got to get through those key stubborn moving averages. We're now moving into a new sector, and that is the oil sector in specific crude. So we are looking at CL. And as I said on a couple of these other ones, it just happens to be one of those days where if you watch the video I did on Friday, this will mean a lot more. But I mean, just you got to love charts. And are charts perfect? No. But I would argue as a technical trader, they're certainly a tool that everybody needs to learn. But for those of you that watch the past videos, you hopefully remember me talking about $72 and check it out. Big, huge plunge. And oh, surprise, surprise, look right where it basically bounced at that green line. And if you're thinking, oh, whatever, you just put that in there beforehand. Your skepticism, not offended at all. All you got to do, go back, watch a video from Friday, and you'll see I had that line right in there. Again, not to brag about myself, but certainly to brag about charts and encourage you to seriously consider maybe using more charts within your trading. So, moral of the story though, $72 remains that key area of support in the very near term. Surprise, surprise. Once again, you have that 50-period moving average acting as resistance. Rejected it there. Rejected it a couple times this afternoon. If the price can push up through there, next key area of resistance is going to be that pink line there, 200-period moving average. And then just from a trend line standpoint, for those of you that prefer trend lines, you got to think that everybody, their brother's uncle, has now put that line in place. So self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you want, if that level comes into play and the price can break up through it, valid to think that could create a nice little upside of buying pressure momentum. But all in all, we'll see what happens with it. Brutal collapse here. Trying to recover back upwards, but so far so good. At least the $72 mark held in that regard. And then moving into precious metals here. And gold, GC. This one just continues to perform very nicely. It's stubborn. It does not really like to go down at all. It's pushed up through this area. Technically speaking, the price fell back below it. So that 28.60 mark, while I would say it was weakened, as of now, the price, as you've seen here in the very near term, has continued to be relatively stubborn, just like it's been stubborn in the past. So sure, the price got above it earlier on in the session, but because the price fell back below it, you would have to suggest that it's still an area of resistance, and that's exactly what's been playing out here. So in the very, very near term, key area of resistance right there continues to be 28.60. If the price can push up through there, no need to overcomplicate it. Just a question of where did the party stop after that level was broken at 28.60, and that was right up there at 872. So 872 will be the next level, and again, nothing fancy there. Other than that, it's just if I believe that's all-time high, so therefore that's got to be a resistance just by definition. As far as areas of support are concerned, preferably speaking, you'd want to see the price stay above that purple line right there. If the price doesn't quite hold above it, the next key overarching area of support going to be down there at that former area that I talked about at 2,800. But that's really far off right now. So I think the most interesting dynamic right now is can the price actually break above and stay above 28.60? We'll see. And before I go, I want to personally invite you to get signed up for my private community, the Inner Circle, claytrader.com/team. So if you are a serious trader or you're looking to get serious, you like futures, then definitely check out the community. Like I said, it's not free, but I found that a very basic price like that keeps out the riffraff, keeps out the trolls, and ensures that serious people show up. And that's not $99 per month. That is $99 every 3 months. So if you do the math, it breaks down to $8.25 per week. And as I always tell people, I can make no guarantees, but I can say with a high degree of confidence, you'll get at least $8.25 per week of value within the community. So make sure you check it out. If there's any questions on it, let me know down below. And as you're seeing, in fact, I'll put it back up there in terms of prop firms, which one am I using, which one I would recommend. Use that link up above, and that'll also ensure that you get the best promotion possible because they are always running promotions. So that one right now is 50% off, so make sure you use that link, or like I said, I'll put a link down below. So thanks for watching. If you appreciate these videos, make sure you hit the like button, and if you want to support the channel in a super free and easy way, please hit that subscribe button.